What's up, everybody? It's about time with Rashawn's About Time Boxing, aka Mr. Trill 100 Mil. What's up to my About Time Boxing family and the Trill 100 Mil gang? Thank you to everybody that has been supporting my channel and subscribing to the channel from day one. I appreciate all y'all, my A1s from day one. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. If you have not subscribe to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Pass the word about Rashawn's About Time Boxing. Become part of the About Time Boxing family and the Trill 100 Mil gang. Alright, so we got Errol Spence and Manny Pacquiao, August 21st, I believe. Who wins that fight and why? And I honestly want to know who y'all got to win this fight. If you're picking Manny to win, why do you pick Manny to win, and why? And how do you think he's gonna win? If you're picking Errol Spence to win, why are you picking Errol? Why are you picking Errol to win? How do you think he's gonna win, and why? I honestly want to know, because this right here, honestly, in my opinion, I think this fight is actually a lot more intricate, tricky, and complicated than most people honestly even think that it is. Now, you got Pacquiao, he's 42 years old, has a very, very long, extensive resume. He's fought in 8 different weight classes, flyweight all the way up to junior middleweight. That's a lot, and he's fought a lot of people. He's fought the Eric Morales, the Marco Antonio Barrera, Joshua Clottey, Oscar De La Hoya, Shane Mosley, Antonio Margarito, Miguel Cotto, Jeff Horn, Keith Thurman, Tim Bradley, Brandon Rios. I mean, the list goes on. And then you got Errol Spence, who's fought Chris Van Heerden. Now, his resume is not as long as Pacquiao's is. I think Pacquiao was like 62-3, I think, or something like that. 39 knockouts or something to that effect. Spencer's 27-0, I think, with 21 knockouts or something. I mean, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. You know, y'all can double check that. But Errol Spence has fought, again, like I said, Sean Porter, Kell Brook, Danny Garcia, Chris Algieri. They both fought Chris Algieri, but I felt like Chris Van Heerden was his measuring stick to test if he was ready for the, the elite guys, and he is. Now he's the unified IBF WBC champ, and rightfully earned and deserved. He deserved it. I like Pacquiao. I respect Pacquiao. I respect everything he's done in the sport. He's been around for a long time, and I mean, that's, you credit that, to him having a longer, and more extensive resume than Errol Spence, of course, because he's been around longer. Errol Spence is 31 years old. Pac is, 42. They say 42. But this is going to be an interesting fight, because most southpaws is used to fighting orthodox fighters. Most southpaws rarely fight each other. And a lot of southpaws, by their own admission, there's some awkwardness there when a southpaw fights another southpaw. And some southpaws say it's easier to fight an orthodox fighter than it is to fight another southpaw. So this is going to be a pretty interesting fight. But I will say this, the closest that you will ever get to a blueprint on how to beat Errol Spence is the Sean Porter fight. Now with Pacquiao, you can take your pick, say what you want, because there's fights that he's won that people said he's lost. There's fights that he's lost that people said he won. Now, I remember when him and Floyd were supposed to fight. I believe it may have been in March of 2016 or something like that. Pacquiao didn't agree to the random blood test, blood and urine, thing. And A lot of people was questioning whether he was juicing or not. He was saying that he didn't like needles. He's scared of needles or didn't like needles. But then they like, well, if you don't like needles, then why you got these tattoos on you? Like, cause that hurt worse than getting a needle. And the tattoos, you ain't constantly scraping on your skin, like. So, and I listen, and I'll be honest, I was one of those skeptics, that was like, okay, well, because you gotta look. I mean, he was jumping from different weight classes, boom, 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 boom. And this dude was the whole time he was doing it is in shape. It's not like you actually have fat on your body to lose. This man has 0% body fat, so you're gaining and losing muscle. Just ask Roy Jones when he went up to fight Ruiz. He had 0% body fat. Then he had to come down, 15 pounds or more, 15 pounds or more to fight Tarver at light heavy. He went up to, so he had to, about 15 pounds or so or something, 175, because he was like 2 something when he fought Ruiz. So he had to lose all that weight, and that stuff hurts your body. When you lose a muscle, that starches your body. That's what they call them. Like, you starch your body, you don't have nothing to go with. And this guy was doing it with ease. Fighting at 30, then going up to 40, then back down to 35, and then you went up to 47, and 47 back down to 30 or 35, and all that jumping around. That's a lot. And he was fighting all the time. And people was like, and then he's small. People was like, how this little guy doing all this stuff? He doing it by himself. A lot of people, I mean, even though he's never got caught for it, nobody knew Margarito was wrapping his hands with Cass until, Nazim Richardson, caught him. And even after he caught him, Margarito, them trying to wrap his hands with the Cass, when he caught him the first time, they tried it again, like 2 or 3 more times right in front of his face. So just because a person didn't get caught doing it don't mean that they didn't do it. Say that about OJ. Right? So, I mean, but like I said, with no real proof other than just understanding the body and how the body works, and and how the body can only take but so much. Can only take but so much. And to be able to, like I said, you got to remember now, 8 different weight classes. To be able to jump, but starting at 126 and being able to jump all up and down through 126 or 130 up to, he fought at 54 at one times when he fought Margarito, but that 47 down to that 30 and all that back and forth, and that's a lot on the body. But it don't take away from the fact that he's still a hell of a boxer, a hell of an athlete. So, in order for Pacquiao to be, in my opinion, in order for Pacquiao to be able to beat Errol Spence, he's going to have to be able to back Errol Spence back. He's going to have to be able to back him up. He's going to have to box, and he's going to have to be able to beat Errol to the punch. Because even though Errol Spence can box, he usually likes to remain flat-footed and kind of like put the pressure on you, because he likes to kind of sit on every punch that he throws. Now, Pacquiao is a high volume punch type guy. Well, at least in training, you always seeing a lot of punches and stuff. Now, he doesn't always execute that in the ring. He tries to, I think, but again, it all depends on the type of fighter that you fight in, the type of style that it is. Again, how the styles make the fights and how they do it don't match up. And 2 southpaws, this is a style that's one of them awkward matchups. I'm telling you, this fight is. But now, Errol is going to have to be able to beat Pacquiao to the punch. He's going to have to be able to hurt Manny. He's going to be able. He's going to have to slow him down. Now, does Errol have a chance at stopping Manny in this fight? Absolutely. I'm not gonna say that Manny has a puncher's chance because he can box, he can punch, like he can do all that. Pacquiao's gonna have to, Errol cannot allow himself to get, he can't allow himself to get caught on the ropes. Now, granted, Errol throws more combinations than Pacquiao, in my opinion. And what I mean is, most southpaws they look for the 1-1-2, 1-1-2, 1-1-2, and that's Pacquiao. 1-2, that 1-1-2. Pacquiao rarely, if ever, throws an uppercut or even throws hooks. But Errol Spence uses uppercuts. He uses uppercuts. He likes to shoot hooks. He likes to dig to the body. And I think he's going to have to get to Pacquiao's body early and try to, take some of the wind out of Pacquiao's cell. Because Pacquiao like to be on his toes. He a boop, boop, boop on your toes. On the toes type dude. You know what I'm saying? So he going, but he's just going to be trying to land that, you know what I mean? So it's kind of hard to say what this fight is going to boil down to, but I think it's just going, at the end of the day, it's going to boil down to who beats who to the punch first. It's possible this fight may go 12 rounds. Yep. I think it's maybe I would say a 70 to 80% chance this fight will go 12 rounds, and I would say it's a maybe 40 to 60% chance that the fight could end with a stoppage. And if it does end in a stoppage, I think it'll be because Errol stopped Manny, not because Manny stopped him. I'm not saying that, Errol can take a punch, but we never seen Errol really get hurt. But we've seen Pacquiao hurt, and we've seen Pacquiao get knocked out. So, and if the right punch come, Errol can put him out. That's not saying that if the right punch don't connect from Pacquiao, because it only take 5 pounds of pressure to knock somebody out anyway. So if Pacquiao, if he can catch Errol with a punch that Errol don't see coming, it's possible he can hurt him or maybe even stop him. But I mean, we really being realistic. Errol has more of a chance to stop Manny. Now, if Pacquiao beat him, it'll be because he outboxed Errol Spence. And Spence can't allow himself to fall behind on the scorecards early either. Because Pacquiao will take advantage of that. He will exploit it and take advantage of it. And he'll just keep landing and getting out the way. Getting out the way, and then, boxing. Because Pacquiao like to be, he's a boxer. He's a boxer. And Spence is a boxer slash banger. Like he can box when he need to. But he can trade when he need to. Unnecessarily sometimes. Because that's why Sean Porter was able to back him up in the fight sometimes. Back him up and catch him. Because he felt like he needed to stand there and trade. When if he would have boxed, he won the fight. We know that. But I'm just saying, like, some things fighters do that's just a detriment to their game, and they don't have to do it. Don't force yourself to do something that you don't have to do. The name of the game is to try to make the fight as easy as possible. And Errol Spence, I feel like at some point made the fight against Porter complicated, and thus given the only blueprint on, if you're going to beat Errol Spence, how to do it. You have to apply the pressure. You got to be able to back him up. You got to be able to outbox him and beat him to the punch. If you can back him up while outboxing and beating him to the punch, you got a chance at winning. But Spence knows he always has that puncher's chance because it's power. I think if he used different gloves, though, them Everlast gloves, I don't like them joints. Pacquiao probably gonna have the Reyes gloves on. Errol Spence need to switch up to the Reyes or the Grants. I just think they better gloves. Nothing against Everlast. I've trained in them gloves before too, but I just think that, Reyes and Grants are better. You know what I mean? So, but I want to know what y'all think. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Leave me the comments. Who do y'all have winning? You got Who you got, Manny Pacquiao or Errol Spence? So tell me who y'all got and why, and how y'all think they gonna win. I want to know what y'all keys to victories are for both fighters. What are the keys to victory? I want to hear from y'all. So again, if you're watching this for the first time, welcome to Rashawn's Boxtown Boxing, and subscribe to the channel and pass the word about Rashawn's Boxtown Boxing. Become part of the Boxtown Boxing family in the Trill 100 Mil gang.